Hey there guys, my name is Marcus, and in this video I'm going to compare Wix with WordPress. The first thing I'm going to share with you is what I actually recommend for you to use, like in what way I would choose Wix and in what situations I would choose WordPress. Then I'm going to compare pricing plans, and then I'm going to compare templates and main features, like what you can actually achieve with both of these website builders. So let's start. Now, when I would use Wix, I would definitely use Wix if you want to build a simple website. Let's say that I'm a yoga teacher or I'm a consultant and I want to build a simple website and I don't want to just choosing hosting, domains and everything around it. I just want to have a simple website with, like, let's say 2 free products, and then I can have like bookings or something. I can choose Wix for it. And I think that Wix is going to be really effective for that. You can choose a template. I build my yoga teacher website where people can contact me, and voila, I'm good to go and I can focus on business. On the other hand, I would definitely choose WordPress if you want to build a long-term project. Let's say that you want to write a lot of posts on your blog, then you want to build a WooCommerce store and have like 100, 200 products and just have like years to come. You want to build a successful business or project. In that way, go definitely with WordPress. WordPress got higher learning curve comparing to Wix, but WordPress in long term is going to be much better in comparing to Wix. And now let's compare the main advantages and disadvantages I personally see in both. So in Wix, the huge advantage that is quite simple. The second advantage that you can edit it as much as you want, that you can overlay literally everything, then button through the picture, and then you can do animations without any HTML knowledge. See? The glide in, float in, bounce in, fade in. But if you compare it to WordPress, you're gonna have segments. To edit it as much as you want, you need to have the knowledge of CSS and HTML. To edit animations, again, you need to know the HTML and CSS. And that's another thing that's like, okay, that's kind of disadvantage, but advantage, what do you actually need? The second disadvantage I personally see in Wix, that it got sometimes problem with breakpoints and being responsive. So you need to always do the double edit for mobile and desktop, and you don't have to do it in WordPress, because in WordPress, when you could choose a good theme, they are mostly responsive, and Google likes that. Google really prefers websites which are responsive, and if your website is not going to be responsive, you won't get to the first, second, or top 5 position on Google. So that's something you need to keep in mind, that if you're going to choose Wix, you need to really optimize it for mobile, and sometimes you're going to have problems with that. So just keep in mind that. Now, to go further to the pricing plans, this is where the first kind of problems begins. Not problems, but like some interesting situations, I would call them. You have 2 options on Wix. First, you got a website plan, and then you're going to see the business e-commerce plan. You can have a free website, and then you're gonna like $12.50, $24.50, or €8.50. That's like $10, $15, and $30. And then you're gonna see the business e-commerce plan, which is €17 a month, €25 and €35 a month. And then you can simply choose the e-commerce or website. On the other hand, on WordPress, it works like this. On WordPress, first you need to buy a domain, then you need to buy a web hosting, then you need to buy Elementor or some kind of like really good website editor. I have Elementor. You can choose like Divi. Then you need to also choose an Astra as a template, like from where you can get it for free, or you can like pay for it. And you see the steps. You have many more steps to actually get what you're gonna get in Wix, because like you need to buy a domain, then you need to buy web hosting, then you need to find a template, then you need to choose like website editor. You can use the simple Wix one, but I think that the WordPress one, but it's kind of limited, so I recommend choosing like Elementor. Then also you need to get plugins, and then you can start creating on your website. And then you can start writing blogs, e-commerce and everything. On the other hand, on Wix, you choose a plan, you choose a template, then you just build a website, and voila, you get to go. So that's why I recommend just choosing the Wix if you want to build a simple website and you don't really want to play around with everything. In that way, Wix is perfect. Now, to go further, and what you can actually achieve with templates, WordPress has more templates comparing to Wix. Yes, Wix got huge advantage that you get categories here. Let's say that I'm going to be in architecture. I can simply view full demo. If I like it, then I would just simply choose it, right? And you can really choose what kind of you want, and then you simply use it, you change the photos, change the text, and voila, you got it. So yeah, and this is how you can use Wix. Templates on the other end are WordPress. There is advantage and also disadvantage in WordPress. The first advantage is that you're gonna have a lot of templates for your choosing. Disadvantage that I personally see is that there are so many templates and maybe you will get lost in it about how many of them are. But what I recommend is like go based on reviews and choose the field that you like. Let's say that I'm in restaurants, so I'm going to choose a restaurant template that I can use for my business. In that way, WordPress is going to be great. But I think WordPress is winning here only because you're gonna have so many of them, and so you can choose so many comparing to Wix. Now, the next thing are plugins and applications. Again, what I think is that WordPress is again winning because you're gonna have like so many plugins with a MailChimp, with everything that you can connect if you need it to. From the SEO perspective, again, WordPress is dominating. Like more than 40% of blogs are on WordPress. They're built on WordPress. So in that way, I believe it's perfect. But again, if you just need 2-3 blogs about you, go with a Wix. But if you're gonna have 100, 200, 300 blogs on Wix, it would get overwhelming. If you want to build an e-commerce store, it will get overwhelming if you're gonna have medium-sized store with 25, 30 products. And you don't want to come to the point that you're going to have that you're gonna have like 10 products on Wix and you want to go on WordPress. The hustle with transferring everything to WordPress is going to be so damn hard, and it's going to take such a long time, and maybe you won't even successfully do it and achieve it. So that's another thing. Now, what is my recommendation when we compare the main features and what you can actually build with Wix and WordPress? Go in WordPress with some kind of Elementor. But again, you need to have sections here. So you can simply add, let's say, form. I add a form here. Then what I can do is to simply add a countdown, and you can really play around with everything what you need. It's open. It's a bonus if you understand HTML, and then let's say that you want to add a WooCommerce for your e-commerce store, you can do it. In Wix, on the other hand, you simply click add here, and gallery, decorative, interactive, you can add multiple things. It's much easier to do it comparing to WordPress. You can add animations, and you need to like really good HTML for understanding it. So I can simply move it, you know, I can overlay it. You won't be able to do it in WordPress, as I mentioned. You would be able to do it, but you need to have the knowledge. But always remember that you need to edit it also for mobile, right? Wix offers you also the free email newsletter that you can use. There's like for up to, I don't know, a few thousands of emails that you can send for free. Then you need to upgrade it. In WordPress, you can connect it with Sendinbull, MailRite, and others for sending emails on MailJet. It's completely up to you. Now, also on Wix, you can simply add applications, as I mentioned, but WordPress is dominating Wix in this regard. When we even compare the blog and how you can write blogs, I would definitely recommend going with WordPress. You can create a post here. But when you're gonna create a post and you're gonna see it right here, it's going to get more limited, because what you can do is to achieve much more with WordPress. You just come here to post, you get everything pretty here. I'm going to click on edit the post, and I can simply edit it. Or I can simply add a new post. It's completely up to you, and start writing here. And the SEO and what you can do with the SEO is much better on WordPress comparing to Wix. Like you don't see a lot of Wix websites on our first top 5 rankings personally. And it's a reason for that. Like many people who are building websites, they are saying that you shouldn't use Wix if you want to build a successful website. But as I mentioned, to summarize this whole video, use Wix if you want to build a simple website, presentation website for your project, for your business, to school, whatever, in your job. In that way, I would definitely use it. But I wouldn't use it for long-term projects. Let's say that I want to build a WordPress, I want to build it for my business, that I want to be here for like 15, 20 years. In that way, I would go definitely with WordPress. Another thing is that if you want to like share it on Instagram straight away and focus just like, okay, I'm a yoga teacher, I just need a simple website, I just make it on Wix, and then I just share it on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere, and I move on with my life. In that way, Wix is perfect. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I kind of give you advice and helped you. If so, you can support me and subscribe. Have a great day, guys, and goodbye. See ya.